morning, teacher, and all of the people that are seeing this video right now. Today, my classmates Isabella Holder, Mónica Díaz, and me, Daniela García, we are going to present a video or project about strange diseases that have no cure. We are from the 12th A from the Colegio de Salle, Panamá. Hope you enjoy it. In this video, we tried to make it seem like we are in a video call with our classmates.
Hi friends, how are you?
Fine, and you?
I'm good. How are you, Daniela?
I'm fine too. Thanks for asking.
That's very nice. Hey, do you know that I have been doing a lot of research about yesterday's school speech? Yes, about that speech about strange diseases that have no cure.
I've been doing some research about that too. I think it's a very important topic.
Yes, me too.
I have done a lot of research about the acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, also called AIDS, which is a set of clinical manifestations in the body due to the loss of defenses, as a secondary action caused by the infection of the human immunodeficiency virus, also called HIV.
That's right. In fact, I read in several articles that HIV is a virus that can be transmitted from one person to another by blood or body fluid. For example, this virus can be transmitted by having sex with a person that is infected, by performing blood transfusions containing the virus, by sharing syringes and other utensils with infected people, by transplanting organs from HIV-infected donors, and it can even be transmitted from an infected mother to a child during pregnancy, childbirth, or breastfeeding. I've also read that there are two types of HIV. The HIV-1, which is the most common, and another type, the HIV-2, which is frequently in West Africa. Generally, HIV-2 infection takes longer to evolve into a symptomatic picture of HIV than HIV-1 infection.
That is all true. Now, if we talk about the virus and the disease, it should be clear that not all the people infected with the virus have the disease, although with time the majority end up developing it. Most often, after 5 or 10 years, an HIV-infected person will have symptoms of the disease if she or he has not received any kind of treatment. And yes, it is true that actually is no cure for the people who have this virus in their system, but a number of drugs have been developed and can delay onset the pathological symptoms. The main difficulty for finding a cure for AIDS is that the HIV, the human immunodeficiency virus, is one of the pathogens with the greatest capacity of changing genetically and even evade the immune system response. In other words, we can say that this virus is a very versatile survivor capable of modifying its biological properties through mutations that allow it to adapt to any combination of drugs used to date. Another way we can say is that the genetics of the virus and the capacity of changing so quickly is the reason why, despite all the technologies that we have, it hasn't been possible to find any drug or a natural cure that eradicates the virus completely. However, there are treatments with antiretroviral drugs that manage to make the HIV virus sleepy, allowing the greater or lesser extent to improve the survival and quality of life of the positive individual. Sadly, this antiretroviral is not a cure and does not eliminate at all the HIV, so the prolonged use of this drug can make the virus adapt and no longer be effective.
Indeed, Monica. However, some time ago I read about a group of researchers who seem to have found the weak point of the HIV.
There is another very interesting and strange disease I have researched. It's called amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, or LAS, which is a progressive disease of the nervous system that affects the nerve cells on the brain and spinal cord and causes loss of muscle control. It is so rare that doctors don't know why LAS occurs, although some cases are suspected to be inherited.
I read that the LAS begins with muscle twitching and weakness in limbs and difficulties at speaking. It affects the muscles that are needed to move, speak, eat, or even breathe. Sadly, there is no cure for this disease, and the signs and symptoms vary per individual, but mainly are these: the difficulty in walking and performing daily and normal activities, trips and falls, weakness in the legs, feet, or ankles, also in the hands and the clumsiness, and difficulty speaking or trouble swallowing, muscle cramps and spasms in the arms, shoulders, and tongue, inappropriate crying, laughing, or yawning, and cognitive and behavioral changes.
I have seen ALS affect the nerve cells that control voluntary muscle movements such as talking and walking, and also it affects the motor neurons, so gradually they deteriorate and suddenly they die. Although it is true that there is not an exact cause for this disease, some of the risk factors for it are
Hereditary factor, age, and genetics. And also some environmental factors that could cause the disease are smoking, the exposure to environmental toxins, and military service. As the disease progresses, LAS causes complications such as the following: breathing problems. Over time, the disease paralyzes the muscles used to breathe. Some people with advanced amyotrophic lateral sclerosis even choose to have a tracheotomy. And the most common cause of death for people with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis is the respiratory failure.
talking problems. Talking eventually becomes difficult for other people to understand, and most of the time patients with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis often rely on other methods or other technologies so they can communicate. Feeding problems. People with ALS can develop malnutrition or dehydration caused by the damage to the muscles that control swallowing.
Throughout the development of this disease, some individuals with ALS tend to have problems with the memory and in decision making, and some others are eventually diagnosed with a form of dementia named frontotemporal dementia.